Hey y'all, it's your girl Simone. Welcome back to my channel. If y'all can see by the title, today is another story time. So before we get into this video, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, give a girl a thumbs up, comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials, Instagram at Vivalayoshii, TikTok and Twitter at LifeWithSymone. Follow my business page at Brishari because we'll be dropping our new bags on February 14th. Well, not new. One of them is a restock of the pink and then a new white one. Okay, so y'all don't mind my hair, y'all. I literally dyed my hair last night with the L'Oreal high color and I was so mad because I don't know if I didn't leave it on too long or if my hair was just too dirty. I don't know what it was, but it did not do what it was supposed to. But you know what, it could because I mixed so many colors and I did more like a burgundy colors than I did the red. I only did one red, so it's like a dark burgundy. You could barely see it, so I'm sad because now I was gonna redo it, but y'all, people telling me like you gotta wait at least a month, so I'm like, I'll just wait. I'll just thug it out with this. But yeah, as for my hair, like I said, don't mind it. I literally blow dried it, put some flexi rods in it. I was looking real crazy and I just pinned it up. So let's get into the story. So this is the part 2 of what happened. Well, not a part 2, but it's just another story time of Enemy. But I had mentioned it, so I guess it could be a part 2 of what happened that time when Enemy took us to the Momo. So y'all, I'm gonna have to like cut back on like saying words like cussing and stuff because YouTube been snatching my money. Y'all, they snatched it from that video and from the other video when I was talking about homegirl who was being weird when we pulled up with her boo or whatever and we ended up going to the pier. I don't know, I'm like, dang, okay, let me come back. So if I say certain words and y'all don't know what they mean, or if I say like a term of something like and y'all don't know what I mean, could you please go look in the Urban Dictionary? Because I think when y'all comment too, I think that kind of like YouTube start to pick up on stuff. So I don't know. So I'm gonna just cut back on like trying to cuss too much. But anyway, let's get into it. So y'all already know what happened when his auntie called him and was like he can't be there. So this happened probably because all of this stuff happened in a short period of time. Like the whole thing with Enemy when he was staying there, everything happened like a short period of time. So when his auntie called him to come back, at this time he had been probably staying back at the house for about like a week now, and at this point my car got took by the police because of Enemy. So that's a whole nother story time, which I was gonna mention it, but I'll just mention that in a different time or whatever. So my car had got took by the police or whatever, so I ain't got no car. I'm stressed out. Enemy is actually like, he'll be at the house but like he'll leave a lot because he'd be like, I want to put in, what he say, I want to start contributing and shit, like start contributing and stuff like that. So he wouldn't be there, like he would leave during the day, which was fine with me because even though like I didn't mind having people around me at that time, like I wanted them, I still wanted my me time too. So I was like, ooh, cool when he would leave. And y'all know it's crazy because I was just thinking about it. Me and Enemy really wasn't, at first I was thinking like we was trauma bonded because we both lost somebody, but now that I think about it, we really wasn't. What it was at that time I had lost so many people. Maybe I was being selfish keeping him around me, and well, no, I wasn't being selfish because he didn't have nowhere to stay and I was providing him a place to stay. But I feel like the reason why I say I was being selfish is because I should have just let him go. I knew that situation was dead. I knew it was like, I knew that situation was done. I knew it was just like bad, so I should have just let it go. But instead I kept him close to me because I felt like I could save him, like I could protect him, because I lost so many people back to back in that year. And then it was like other people that was passing away that was close but not super close to me. So I was just kind of scared that if he was away that he would, you know, they would get him. So I don't know, that's probably was selfish of me to think like, I don't know, maybe, who knows, I don't know. Anyway, so that's another reason why I used to let him come stay there, because honestly when the auntie called and said could he come back, I could have said no. But when he came back, things was a little different. Like he would come back, like when he leave and go or whatever, he wasn't just lingering around the house all the time. And he would come back and would like bring a little bit of, nothing of much, but like, oh, here, pay your phone bill, or here, do this, even though I wasn't leaving out the house like that. So I don't know, he would help like a little bit, contribute. So I don't know, but it was a little better. And then he told me, he was like, he wanted to get back in a relationship. Y'all, my dumb self going through it, I was just going through it and I just was like, okay, sure. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why he asked. So I feel like me just going through shit, I just was like, whatever. So I said, yeah. Oh, that was the stupidest shit ever because he didn't have intentions, y'all. His intentions was bad, y'all see. But anyway, so we was kind of dating again, and like for the longest when he was staying there, when we was on our off part, when we wasn't dating, and it wasn't like beef, it was just like, I can't deal with you, you got too many like issues, you want to get lifted every day, like, you know. But when he was standing there, we wasn't doing the do. So now that we back together, we started kind of like doing the do again. But it would kind of be like not anyway, because you know when some people be doing too much booger sugar, they other friends don't be lifting up. Yeah, they don't be getting there. So it'd be like, you gonna eat it and I'm gonna go to sleep. So anyway, yeah, so anyway, one day he was there and he was telling me like he had some stuff to do or whatever, and he gonna be right back. He was asking me like, do I want him to give me some weed jamming? Y'all, I love me some oxtails from weed jam. I really want to go, but the rain is no. So anyway, so he asked me, do I want some weed jamming, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, bring me back some oxtails when you come back. He like, all right, I got you. You know, everything going smooth. Usually when he leave, he'll check in, we talk, he come back. So this day that he left, y'all, I did not hear from him all day. So automatically, if it wasn't me going through something, honestly, I would have thought like, oh, this old is with a beep, is with a girl. But honestly, me going, the shit that was, the stuff that was going on around that time, plus it was 100 days, 100 nights, I'm thinking the worst. I swear to God, I would think the worst. So I ended up hitting him up. I text him and I'm just like, you good? Y'all, even if he was around somebody, he would still text me back. So I'm just thinking like, what's going on? So he didn't text me back. So I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna just give it some time. I really didn't want to call him because y'all, I had PTSD. Like, well, I didn't call nobody and they told me this, but like, I just was so messed up from that I thought that if I called, somebody gonna answer and be like, oh nah girl, he gone. I don't know, it's not funny, but like, I just was stressed. Like, so I didn't want to call his phone because I'm like, I don't want to call and then it'd be bad. So I'm gonna just wait for him to reply. Hours go by, y'all. He still ain't hit me up. He not posting on Instagram, nothing like that. So I'm thinking, yeah, something ain't right. Like, this ain't right. So I ended up hitting his auntie up and I was like, hey, did enemy come by there today? So she was like, yeah, he had came by. He was supposed to come right back. Like, he literally said he was about to go do something and run to the store, go get me some cigarettes, and he was coming back. She was like, and that was hours ago. I ain't heard from him. She was like, I just assumed that he was just, you know, doing him and forgot, like how he always do. She was like, why? Like, is something wrong? So I'm like, well, he was supposed to come back too. Like, you know, he usually come back at night. I mean, he'll come back like not super late, but he'll come back. It depends, whatever. So I'm like, he usually come back. Mind you, at this point, it's like 10 p.m. I'm like, yeah, he would have been back by now. He told me he was going to bring me some weed jamming. Mind you, when she seen him, it was around like probably 3 or 4-ish. So she was like, you haven't heard from him? I'm like, no, I haven't heard from him. So I was like, do you know who he's with or whatever? She was like, he was with such and such. It was this one boy. I'm not gonna give him a name right now because I didn't pre-think about it, but it was this friend he had, which was very, very weird. It was this same friend. I don't know if I mentioned in the story when I said we was driving around looking for him, I had pulled up to his house to look for him too. But yeah, this boy was a weirdo. So anyway, he was like, he was with him. Mind you, at this time, nobody was cool with enemy no more. Like, he literally had all the enemies. All his friends, him, Skeletor fell out, him and Kangaroo. All of them, they all fell out. So I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, she gonna follow up, and I'm like, okay, well, since she said he was with old boy, I'm gonna try to reach out to old boy. So I ended up hitting up old boy on Instagram. He ain't reply. So I'm like, this is weird. Like, I know if he with somebody, he's still gonna check in with somebody. The fact that he ain't checked back in with his auntie and he said he was gonna go bring her something back, like that don't seem right. So she ended up texting me like, have I heard from him? I'm like, no. She was like, she ain't heard from him either. She was like, she reached out to his baby mama, she ain't heard from him. I'm just like, well, what's going on? I'm stressed at this point. So I don't know why I thought to ask Kelly, because I'm just assuming, like, I don't know, maybe he ran into Kelly. They run into each other a lot. Like I told you, every time I go pick him up, for some reason, we run into Kelly. So I hit her up. I'm like, hey, have you heard from enemy? Which the auntie had already hit up Kelly, because like I said, Kelly was living at her house. But I guess she wasn't there at the moment. So I hit her up and she was like, no, I haven't talked to him in like 2 days. She was like, what's good? Like, everything good with him? Y'all, at this point, it started getting a little annoying and weird because Kelly was calling enemy her bro. So she like, I haven't heard from him. Everything good with my bro? And y'all will see why I do that, but eventually. I'm gonna tell y'all. So anyway, I'm like, I was just trying to see if he's good. Like, I haven't heard from him. Mind you, at this point, it's like midnight. Still have not heard from him. So I'm like, what the hell? I can't sleep, y'all. You know when you ain't heard from somebody, you really can't sleep. Like, even if my man is out having fun, I don't be stressed thinking he cheating on me. I be stressed thinking like, what if somebody accidentally hit a bottle over his head? Like, you know, can't sleep. I don't know what it is. When y'all man go out, do y'all not be able to sleep? Like, not because you like insecure, but like because you just worried about his safety. I don't know, that'd be me. I be stressed like, let me know you home safely. Like, I don't know, it just, or when you like, I don't know, it's anyway, or when you walk through that door, that's when I be like, and I could just fall asleep like a baby, like I'm good now. But anyway, I wonder if men be like that, or they be sound sleep. you know what? I don't think they be caring as much as we do. Because it's been times and it'd be like, damn, you already knocked out. You didn't even care. I'm just kidding. But for real though, I don't think men be caring like how we be caring for shit. We can't sleep for a lot of things. They asses be knocked out. But anyway, so I ain't hear from him. I can't sleep. I'm tossing turn. I'm not be able to sleep the whole night. Y'all, early in the morning, it's like 7 in the morning. I'm getting a phone call from Enemy's auntie. So I'm like, I ain't answering that call. I didn't want to answer it because y'all, like when my cousin passed, I got a phone call early as fuck in the morning. So it kind of triggered me, and I'm just thinking like, no, because why else would she be calling me? She's not gonna call me. But then I was like, let me answer, because what if she's calling me to see if I talk to him or if he came back, because I never followed up with her neither. So I'm like, I really don't want to answer the phone. So I ended up answering it. But when I started answering it, I finally answered it because she was letting it ring. So I'm like, just answer the phone. I'm crying. So I'm like, hello. So she like, hey, Symone. She sounds sad. I'm like, I'm crying. She was like, are you okay? I said, what happened? Like, you know, like, just let me know. Just tell me. Rip the Band-Aid off. Let me know. So I'm like, what happened? And she was like, they got into me. My heart dropped. I said, they got him? She said, his ass is in jail. I started laughing. Y'all, I don't know what it was. So, you know when you kind of like, woo. I started laughing. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that's so good. Oh my God. That's so good. So she like, what? I'm like, that's good that he's in jail. And she was like, why is that good? I'm like, because when you said they got him and I heard from him, I thought it was something worse. Like, you know, so she's like, oh, well, it could be worse because, you know, he can't be up in there. Like, he cannot be up in there. So I'm like, yeah. You know, like, even though me and him back together, but I don't know. I was just happy that it was that and not that. So she's like, yeah, he can't be up in there. She was like, because, you know, he beefing with the whole dang city and he got tattoos whacking out other people's hoods and stuff and all this, don't nobody, he ain't got no friends in jail. I'm like, he probably don't. She like, yeah, girl, we got to get him out of here. I got to get him out of there. I'm trying to figure out some stuff right now. She was like, I'm trying to see like how much is the bail and all this other stuff, but I'm going to keep you updated. She was like, put some money on the phone because he asked me for your number. So he's going to be calling you or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool, thanks, good looking. So we ended up hanging up, and I asked my grandpa, it was early in the morning, I'm like, how did your car end up going to the sheriff's station to put money on my phone? Because y'all, at the time, I didn't have no bank account because I didn't have no bank account. Well, I had a bank account, but my bank account wasn't, I didn't have a way to put money. I didn't have a way to use my debit card because my bank account was overdrawn. So anyway, I'm like, just waiting for him to call or whatever like that. And I forgot to mention, let me back to a little bit. So around this time, I had got some taxes, which is a whole different story time, because when it comes to money, a motherfucker will try you. So I had got some taxes, right? Remember the tax money that I mentioned, whatever, right? So I had a really crazy amount than what I should have had, because I have no dependent and I barely worked a job. But anyway, it doesn't even matter because the IRS came to get me for that. But so yeah, what happened? So yeah, so I had this money or whatever, and like I said, my bank account was overdrawn, and I was gonna pay the money back, which I did because I still have the same bank account to this day. But I just was like, now that I don't have a car, I'm gonna use this money to go just cash out, and then I'll pay back. Like, I'm gonna do what I have to do first before I go fix my account. I don't know, my priorities was messed up. So anyway, I had this money, and I used to keep the money in a purse, or right, like one of my purses. I didn't have as many purses as I have now, but I always had purses. So I had it in one of my purses that I really didn't use, and it was like in a pile of other purses. I used to just keep it in a random purse, right? Just keep that in mind, right? So Enemy knew I had this money, but he didn't know where the money was at. And like I said, mind y'all, he used to sometimes come back and give me like little chump change of money, like, here, go fix your fingernail. I don't know, go buy some bread. I don't know, it used to be like random stuff. So mind you, I'm not tripping. He not asked me, like the most he probably asked me for out of that money, because he knew I had got it, probably was like $20. And at this point, I'm too depressed to even go shopping and shit like that. And I knew I was gonna buy another car, but I just haven't got around to it. So anyway, back to where we was at. So he ended up calling me. He called me, he just like, man, Symone, man, you will never believe what happened. So I'm like, dang, like basically don't tell me over the phone. And so he's just like, dang, so we was in the car. I'm like, bro, you gonna make them snitching allegations seem real right now, because why is you, I'm like, we'll talk about it later. Yo, auntie said that she trying to get you out. He's like, nah, but Symone, you gotta listen. So we was in the car. I'm like, this nigga. He like, we was in the car and, you know, such and such hopped in the car. You know how he be doing. He be having his, I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, they ain't not gonna ask me to come to court and be like, is it true that I'm like, I don't. Anyway, so he's still just talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, shut up. So I'm over here kind of irritated because I'm like, hey, this boy just won't shut up. So I was just trying to change the subject. So I'm like, you good? Do you know anybody in there? You see anybody you know? So he like, yeah, I seen somebody I know. Like, I see the one homeboy, like, he cool. Mind y'all, like I said, enemy, he wasn't good in his hood. He wasn't good in others' hoods. He wasn't good nowhere. And plus, like I mentioned, that his auntie mentioned, he has other hoods tattooed on him, whacked out. So who he got? Nobody. So he had said that he seen somebody in there that he knew from like way back that's been in there. Well, he wasn't in there for like a long time, but probably like a few months, I guess. So he was like, yeah, I ran into him. He cool. You know, I've been kind of sticking by his side. He been like, you know, he plugged in. He's like, some dudes is mad because they like, man, nah, fuck that. Why he got that tatted on him, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but you know, for right now, he's like, but I gotta get up out of here. He's like, they want my head. They gonna end up, you know, doing me. Not doing me like two guys, you know, but like doing him like he ain't gonna make it out. Like putting him in a box, you know? Like, not freaky. Like, because I don't want y'all to be like, oh, okay, he in there having a time. No, not freaky, but like a cemetery. Yeah, so he like, yeah, they gonna end up doing me in. It's hard trying to say, not say words, because now everything, maybe I just got a weird mind, because I don't know why that sound freaky as hell to me. So anyway, he's saying that, and I'm just like, dang, yeah, you gotta get out of there. I was so worried about you. Like, I thought that. He's like, what, you thought I was with a bitch? I'm like, no, I thought you was unalived. And he's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's a lot going on right now. Like, it's people dropping left or right. Like, I thought somebody got a score on you. Like, you know, they up their score when they got you. So he like, no, like, you know, why would you think that? I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff going on right now. So we just talking or whatever. So he like, yeah, my auntie, she gonna try to bail me out or whatever. So she gonna keep you updated and stuff like that. He's like, but I just gotta get out of there. Like, I gotta come home too. I'm gonna do right by you. Nigga, you've been in there for a few hours. Please cut the jail talk. So he like, yeah, all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, like, just keep calling me or whatever. I shouldn't have said that. He called 1,000,000 times, me and the auntie. She was annoyed. So she ended up calling me back. She like, hey girl, I found a bail bond. So right, I'm like, okay, that's cool. She was like, but I can't do it myself. Like, I need a co-signer. So I'm like, dang, hope you find one. Because like, even though me and him is back together, I don't give a flying, a motherfucker couldn't even, a person, a man, a friend, whoever, people, can't nobody even get a food order in my name. I don't play that. I don't play that. Don't you ever, I don't care how much you think this is your boyfriend, don't you ever put shit in your name for nobody. I don't give a fuck. I remember a family member had asked me to put some shit in my name before. I said, are you dumb? Like, I really was like, this gotta be a prank. It gotta be April 1st, because ain't no way you call me. Don't ever. So I don't give a, don't ever. And this is for anybody in the future that feels the need. Hey, let me ask Symone if she could call. No, I cannot. I cannot. I would never even ask nobody to do no shit like that. I just would feel like, you know what? No. I'm not asking nobody to put a car in my name, in their name for me, a house, a boat, a chicken wing, a fucking order from anywhere. I don't care. No. So anyway, I'm just like, hopefully I'll find one. So she's like, yeah, that's why I was calling you. Who is you? So she was like, yeah, I was calling you. She was like, Symone, because I was thinking like, you know, maybe we could do it together. Like, you could help me. We could go on the bond or whatever. So I was like, oh, I can't do that. So she's like, what? I'm like, I can't do that. So she's like, why? I'm like, because I just would never feel comfortable doing that. So she was like, that's messed up. Like, he can't stay in there. You know his situation. He told me that niggas is already sizing him up and da-da-da-da-da and all this other stuff. That's just messed up, Symone. Like, dang, I thought like y'all was better now. Like, aren't y'all back together? He told me y'all was back together. I said, yeah. I'm like, I'm letting him stay at my grandparents' house. I'm like, my grandma make extra chicken pot pies. He eat them. So I'm like, he's over here and he's like, he's eating. He's fine, like, you know, but I can't do that for him. So she's like, so you just gonna let him sit in there? You're gonna just let whatever happens to him happen to him? We don't even know if he's gonna catch time. At least he could fight it on the streets. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't do that. So I'm like, maybe you should ask Kelly. She's like, that's who I should have asked in the first place. And she's like, I'm gonna call you back, Symone, and hung up. So I'm like, okay, the fuck? Like, how are you mad at me? The fuck? No. So anyway, she ended up hanging up. Enemy ended up calling me And we talking and stuff like that. So he was asking me like, yeah, so I talked to my auntie or whatever. She told me like she found a bills bond man and they just need this amount, but they need another co-signer, such and such, all this other stuff. So I was like, yeah. I told her to ask Kelly because I'm not doing it. So she was like, he was like, yeah, Kelly said she'll do it. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't want you to stress about that. Like, don't stress about it. Y'all remember all of this stuff. He like, don't stress about it because you know, like I get it. I totally understand. So I was like, okay. So he was like, but one thing I did want to ask you, he was like, because they are short $300, if you could help with $300. Mind you, he knew I had that money, so he knew I could help with $300. Because mind you, I had no job at this time. No, I didn't. So he was like, yeah, if you could help with $300 or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I could help. Mind you, I was just like, and I had kind of mentioned before over the phone, before he even asked, I had kind of mentioned, I was just like, yeah, if they need help with the bond, like paying it, like I could give a little bit of something, which I shouldn't have said that because that's when he clicked and was like, yeah, well, they actually need $300. So I was like, okay, well, I could help or whatever. I was like, but you know, they got to come get it for me because I don't got no car. So yeah. So he was like, okay, I'm going to try to call her and see, like, we're going to work it out. So he ended up calling me, the auntie called me on three-way. He's on the phone. So she was like, yeah, Kelly's gonna help. Kelly says she's gonna help. She's gonna put money and she's gonna sign him out. Good for her. Good for her. So I'm just like, yeah, well, I'm gonna help with the 300 y'all need or whatever. So he was like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do too much. He was like, Simone's already doing enough and she's going through a lot. And, you know, she's got her car took because of me. So she's trying to get another car. And so the auntie's like, oh, well, I didn't know that. But, like, you know, getting another car is important. But, like, you know, still, bitch, I said I'm gonna help with $300. So shut the fuck up for real, or before I take that back. I'm just kidding. But it's like, you lucky. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, y'all gonna have to come to me to get the money or whatever, because like he just said, I ain't got no car. So she was like, well, I ain't got no car either. Oh, well, sounds like everybody got issues. So anyway, she was like that she signed something or she's gonna fax something over. So Kelly actually was gonna go and do the paperwork or whatever, like go in. So she's like, you can meet up with Kelly or whatever. Kelly was gonna go do it tomorrow because at this point it was too late. Kelly don't got no car either, and it's too late for her to be trying to go on the bus. And y'all know bail bonds places, I think they be open pretty late, but like it's too late for her to be trying to go over there. So the guy just said come in the morning. Enemy was mad as hell because he's like, I gotta get out of here. They said they're gonna eat my toenails and put them up my eat his toenails and put him up his ass. He said that. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that, but he said like they wanted to fight him, like he got to fight when he got off the phone or something like that. I don't know. So I was just like, yeah, we're gonna get you out of there. He's like, yeah, like for sure, you know. He was being cool, like being like cool on the phone. So we ended up hanging up and he called me by himself, y'all. He started crying, and mind y'all, it just kind of tugged at my heart. I've heard him cry before, but like not that many times. So it tugged at my heart when he was crying because I'm just thinking like, damn, he's really stuck. But like I said, I'm getting money up, so it's like, you ain't even got it. Why are you doing all of this? Not like that. It just makes sense later when I put 7 and 10 together. So anyway, it came down to the day I'm hitting up Kelly and I told her like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna just actually meet up with you, because where she was coming from, she was already gonna be near where the bail bond place was at. So, and it was downtown. So she was like, to come to your way is kind of out the way. And I told her like, I'll just meet up with you because I had so much shit going on. And I had just been in the house like after my car been gone. So I was just like, you know what, let me get out. And at that time, for some reason, catching a bus was like very therapeutic to me. Like, I don't know, like if I had stuff on my mind, I wouldn't mind catching a bus. Like I would catch the bus downtown to the alley and go buy clothes and shit. Like, so I was like, let me just get out the house and like think, because I knew my grandpa was not finna let me use his car. At the time, license was suspended too. I wasn't finna be able to do all that. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just come meet you down there or whatever. Like I ain't got shit else to do. I had got down there before her, so I did go down by the alley or whatever. And when I said like daddies was daddying, not by the alley, by the jury district though, they was outside. I was like, You know what's crazy, y'all? When I be telling my stories, like how stuff happened, like, so the same year me and Enemy stopped talking was literally the same year I linked with the rapper. Literally was the same year that, remember, I don't know if y'all remember the story time where I put like story time, my sugar daddy bailed my boyfriend out of jail, which he bailed Crazy out of jail. Same time I met that guy, same time I met Crazy. Literally this year, when I say I was going through so much that year, that it was so much going on. And then there's so much other people too, but I just ain't mentioning it. Not people, but like story times and stuff like that. It was just a lot going on that year. Anyway, so like back to the story. So she ended up telling me she was close, so I ended up going by where the bail bonds was at. So when she got off the bus, it was her and Enemy cousin or whatever. So I'm like, hey, y'all, they was extremely happy, which I be peeping stuff and I be thinking like, this is weird. So they was super happy, right? She just smiling. She's like, hey, Symone, like happy as hell. So I'm like, maybe they happy they finna get him out, or I don't know. Like maybe she feel like, yeah, I'm one up in this bitch. I'm putting money down and I'm signing. Good for you. So I don't know. I really didn't know, but I thought it was weird how happy they was. So I'm talking. I'm just like, yeah, well, I got the 300 or whatever. So she's like, oh yeah, 300, right? He said 300. So I'm like, yeah. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna go in. You want to come in with me? So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay outside. So I stayed outside with the cousin. Me and her just talking and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, I'm finna actually go a different direction. I just rode with her on the bus to come this way, but I'm finna go a different direction or whatever. Like asking me like what we finna do or whatever. So after Kelly came out, I was finna say her name. Ooh, it's because I was literally just talking to her in a DM. So after Kelly came out, we talking and stuff, and the cousin was like, she finna go part ways and go a different way. So the guy, he was like, I forgot what it was. He was like, he gonna process the paperwork, and it's basically saying enemy should be out like in a little while, in a few hours if it's no issues, or by the next day, something like that or whatever, right? So we leaving, right? Oh my God, we leaving, we just walking. I was gonna stay at the bus stop, but the way I am, if the bus is not there yet and I don't see the bus, I'm gonna walk to the next bus stop just to kill time or whatever. Cause I don't wanna just stand there. So anyway, we walking, and I'm like, Kelly, why are you walking in the same direction as me? So she was just like, oh, because I'm about to go somewhere else. Like I'm going to some other side of town or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she was just like, yeah, but yeah, I just want to thank you so much. She was like, you know, enemy is really like a brother to me, and I always never trust nobody he bring around. She's like, that's why in the beginning, like, you know, like we had our issues, and I'm just thinking like, what issues? You know, them one-sided ass issues, girl. She was like, we had our issues or whatever. She was like, that's because I'm just real overprotective of him. And I'm just thinking like, brother, what sister sells, you know, for their brother? But anyway, so she was like, yeah, like, I just really look at him like, you know, I've been in his life for so long. She was like, I'll never trust nobody, but now I see that you really riding with him, and I really appreciate that. Like, we really appreciate you so much for riding with enemy, y'all. I just want to be clear that I make it clear all this stuff that these people were saying to me, because they played the fuck out of me. Anyway, so she just gave me this long ass speech. So I'm like, oh, you know, that's sweet. While we still walking, we walking for a long ass time. So she was just, mind you, she be on and off texting somebody, and they had ended up calling her, and she was just like, yeah, something. So then she got off the phone, and she was like, do you want to ride home? So I was like, yeah, like, I don't mind. Like, okay. She was like, okay, I'm gonna see if somebody could give us a ride or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. So she texting somebody. Mind you, next thing you know, we just still walking, and like people driving by, and you know, like people would drive by and like whistle or like try to get at you and stuff like that. So this one truck, it was like a pickup truck, y'all, like a work truck. Like it literally had a lawnmower in the back. They did like a, like he did like a calling, like he whistled or something, like said something, and when he was going by slowly. So so Kelly ended up going in the street and was like, hey, and waving him down. So I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, that's gonna be our ride. So I said, oh, hell nah. Kelly, what is you talking about? She like, it's cool, it's cool. So he ended up pulling up. So we walking still in that direction. So he stopped, like he pulled over. We walking that direction. So I'm like, Kelly, what are you doing? Like, no, you didn't just flag down somebody. She was like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. So we walk up to the car or whatever. So she was just like, hi, Poppy. And he was just like, hi, like barely speaking English or whatever. So she was just like saying something. She didn't know Spanish, but she knew enough that she needed to say whatever she needed to say. So she was like, all right, come on, Symone, get in. Mind you, it's one of them trucks where everybody got to sit in the front seat. So she gonna have the nerve to try to tell me to get in next to him. I said, girl, no. And I'm like, Kelly, what? So she's like, it's cool, it's cool. She was like, he used to be a regular, it's cool. And I was like, but what about the person you was on the phone with? She was like, that's who I was on the phone with. So I'm like, I'd have been better off calling the freaking nail psycho. So I'm just like, all right, you know, because at this point, I really don't feel like waiting. It seemed like that bus never was coming, and I'm like, whatever. So she ended up getting in the car next to him, because I don't know what she thought I was about to. So she got in the car next to him, and I'm sitting at the door. I'm just like this, y'all. Mind you, no tent. The streets he taking, like, oh my God. Like, it just seemed like he was going deep in, like, certain hoods to where it's like, bro. And it seemed like we'd stop at a red light in certain areas. And you know how ninjas be hanging out at, like, shopping centers and shit, like, the stores. And I'm just like, bro, this is gearing on my nerves, because I don't got time for nobody to be like, Symone, okay, I seen you, you know. And I'm like this, and then she just laughing and talking. She's still trying to talk to me. He rubbing on her thigh and stuff, and I'm just like, so Kelly, where did you say you was going? So she like, oh, I'm just going to the other side of town, but we gonna drop you off first. So while we on the way, she's like, you hungry? Like, he gonna get us some food. So I'm like, nah, it's cool, because I really just want to get to where I'm going. I just want to get about this motherfucker. So we end up we driving by. She was like, oh, can we stop right here? Like, can we stop at this Jack in the Box? So I'm like, Kelly, it's cool. Like, I'm not really hungry. Like, y'all could just drop me off. Mind you, we not too far from my house. I'm like, y'all could just drop me off and you get some food. So she's like, no, I want to get you some food. Like, thank you for all that you done. I'm just like, bro. We end up going to the drive-thru, y'all. It's in a shopping center where it's ninjas hanging out. So I'm like, it was just the most annoying ever. So she like, wait, is that, I'm sorry about the neighbor's dog, but she like, wait, is that such and such? Is that tiny such and such from, wait, is that him? Simone, wait, roll down the window. I said, girl, no. Because what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Like, you're really starting to piss me the fuck off. So anyway, we ended up getting our food, whatever. They dropped me off. When they dropped me off, y'all, why he pull over and Kelly hop out the car? So, but mind you, I had him drop me off like in front of the neighbor's house, which I know all my neighbors too anyway. So I'm like, so she get out the car. So I'm like, I'm walking. And I was like, okay, bye. So I noticed her walking behind me. So I stopped and I turned around. And I was like, Kelly, where are you going? I'm like, you was like coming here? So she was like, no, I'm not coming here. I'm going somewhere else. But so like, again, I just want to say, keep your head up and thank you so much. Like, he's really going to appreciate all that you've done. Like, you know what? Like, keep your head up. Like, I'm going to tell him, don't play about you for real, because you the one. Sure. So anyway, we ended up leaving, right? Enemy called me. He was mad because, like I said, they couldn't process him out until tomorrow or whatever, like the next day or whatever. But they had said he had to go to court. I don't know why they had said this or whatever, right? So, y'all, I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, can you come get me? Y'all, this is the most ghetto ever. He's like, can you come get me? So I'm like, all right, cool. But I can't. I'm not finna even ask my grandparents to use their car. So I'm like, I'm gonna come get you on the bus. On the bus. I'm like, I'm gonna come get you on the bus. So he was like, dang, I ain't never rode a bus before. But okay. How? Like, how you ain't never rode the bus before? But anyway. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come get you. So y'all, why I had my sister ride with me. We thought he was gonna be at the courthouse at this, bro, this dog is gonna irritate me bad. So we thought he was gonna be at this other courthouse or whatever, but he wasn't. So we caught the bus all the way there. Mind you, when we get there, guess who we see at the court? We see Kelly. Mind you, when I seen her, I'm like, hey, Kelly. And she just looked at me and didn't say anything. Like, she just looked sad. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was so weird. So enemy ended up calling me and he was just like, hey, like, where you at? They finna process me out. So I'm like, are you at court? So he's like, nah, they just gonna process me out from the county, like at the county. So I'm like, at the jail, whatever. So I'm like, oh damn, like we way over here. So I'm like Kelly right here too. He was like, man, Kurt, don't say shit to her, Kurt. So I'm like, yeah, I said something to her and she just like didn't say nothing to me. So he was like, man, like, Kurt, just come up here. I don't know why she even there anyway. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm like, all right, come on, let's go. So we end up leaving on the bus and we went way to where he was at, y'all. We went and picked him up from jail on the bus. So I'm like, we're gonna catch the bus back. And he was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I never caught the bus before or whatever. Like, he was happy or whatever. So y'all, tell me why when we stopped, because we walking, he ended up getting him a pack of cigarettes or whatever. We get to the bus, like we get on the bus. I don't even want to ride the bus with him, to be honest. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, because like I said, he has face tats and stuff like that, and tattoos on his neck, like tattoos all over him and shit like that. And he's a known gang member. I don't want to be on this bus with him. You know, people was getting cracking on the bus around that time. So we on the bus. Why does boy hop on the bus and try to smoke a cigarette? I know it'd be like some shit going on the bus and stuff like that, but boy, you are literally doing too much. So anyway, we get back to the house, right? He acted so weird. Like, he's acting weird as shit. Like, all the way he was talking up in jail, he ain't talking like that no more. He acted so weird. So I'm just like, so he like, can I sign in Instagram? Like, can I sign in? I don't know why he asked to sign. I think his phone was dead or something. He asked to sign in on my sister's phone. So she was like, okay. So he signed in on her phone or whatever. And he was on Instagram for a cool minute. So, but he's being so weird, right? So I was just like, yeah, what's up with Kelly? So I ended up hitting up Kelly and I was just like, hey, I don't know why I still hit her up. So I'm like, hey, yeah, we ended up getting enemy, like he's back or whatever, like that. He's here. So she was just like, how long he been out? So I'm like, oh, we had got him, like, I was trying to speak to you at the court. I don't know if you was going through something or if you didn't hear me or whatever. Because mind you, like, I just seen this girl the day before. So she was just like, asking me how long he been out and so all this other stuff. I was like, yeah, but whatever. Oh yeah, his phone was dead. That's why he had charged at the house. So yeah, so she was just like, okay, like, you know, all right, so I'm just thinking like, what's up with Kelly? He was like, I don't know, like she just weird. I don't know what's up with Kelly. He was like, but I gotta go by my auntie house or whatever, so I'ma come back. Like, I'm gonna come back. I just gotta go by up over there real quick to do something, and then I'm gonna come back. All right, so I'm like, all right, cool. So he ended up leaving, y'all. He left. He was gone like how he usually be gone, but like I said, he was acting so fucking weird. Like, I was gonna make this a whole nother story time, but I'm not, because I'm gonna keep going. It's might as well keep going with this shit. He's acting so weird. So some days went by, and he had to go to court, and he had to go pay the bail's people. I was not giving up no more money. That's what I was not gonna do. But he had got some money from wherever the hell he got money from, right? But mind you, this is some days, like literally probably like 4 days went by. He'll be going in and out. Like sometimes he'll come home later than usually, or he would stay at his auntie house or whatever throughout these 4 days. So I'm like he stayed an hour over there. So I wasn't really tripping, you know, but like I said, we back in a relationship, so everything supposed to be cool. I ain't heard from Kelly. She ain't hitting me up. So the day that we was supposed to go to, he was supposed to go to court, and he was supposed to put some money. He asked me if I could go with him, and he was like, can we catch the bus again? Like, that was so fun. So I'm like, no, because I really don't want to catch the bus with him. So I ended up telling, and y'all, this is so funny, because when he was staying at my house one time, and we had to and I was like, let's walk to go get something to eat. He wanted to walk with us so bad. And I'm like, no, because like once we get off this neighborhood, we in a hood, and no, ain't nobody finna, yeah, no. So he was just like trying to walk, and it was so funny because I was gonna put a wig on him, and my grandpa was like, just use my card. Like, no, why would you put a wig on that boy? He was gonna do it too. That shit is funny. But anyway, so I ended up calling this girl, which this is the whole nother, this she gonna be in a story time when my car got took. I ended up calling this girl that my cousin was talking to, and she was actually cool with Enemy, which is crazy. You know what? She was somebody, I forgot what I named him, but remember that time when I was talking about girl get me out of this house, and I was talking about the little girl that was turning up the bottle? She was one of their baby mamas, right? So, but she was close with Enemy, and they used to call each other cousin, but come to find out they f***ed each other. Y'all, it just was a whole lot of. So anyway, she ended up coming, and she was like, yeah, like I'll do it, like I'll do anything for my little cousin. And so she ended up coming to take us. Like I was like, yeah, could you take us, whatever. After that, like we drove around, she took us to get something to eat and all this other stuff, right? So she ended up dropping us back off at the house. Like we did that, we did everything we needed to do. She dropped us back off at the house, and we chilling at the house. My sister was over there that day. We chilling at the house, and next thing you know, I don't know, out of nowhere, mind you, earlier that day, out of nowhere, I don't know, Kelly was hitting me up and was like, we need to talk. So I'm like, what do we need to talk about? Like, you know, I'm confused. Like, what do we need to talk about? So she was just like, we need to talk about Enemy. So I'm like, okay, what about him? Mind you, this is when he's in the car, so I'm still in the car with the cousin and the fake cousin and all this other stuff like that, because I didn't go inside. So I'm like, what do we need to talk about? So she was just like, Enemy. So I'm like, okay, what about him? So she was just like, I just want to let you know, are you and Enemy still together? So I'm like, yeah, we did get back together, like literally probably a week ago. So then I'm confused, mind you, this is weird. So she telling me, she was just like, well, I'm pregnant by Enemy and da 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 da. Bitch, when I tell y'all, this was the most, I was like, what? So I'm like, Kelly, y'all, I'm in there shaking. Like, what the fuck? Like this, who? When? Like, how? Like, y'all, she telling me, she was like, I'm pregnant by Enemy, da 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 da, all this other shit like that. She was like, yep. And me and him supposed to be together. I don't know why the fuck he's still up over there. He told me he was gonna come back, like after he got out. He told her, I guess, that he was just gonna be there for a day, get his shit, and tell me, break it off with me and leave. She's like, but he ain't left yet, and da 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 da, and I'm not about to sit here and be playing these games no more, da 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 da, all this other shit. So I'm like, what? So after the cousin, I'm like, I really wanted to bring it up so bad when we was in the car, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till we get back to the house, because I really want to confront him. I felt like if I would have bring it up in the car, he probably would have had her drop him off somewhere else, and I needed to confront him in his face, because at that time I was toxic, okay? So, well, I wasn't the girl toxic, but yeah. Anyway, so we get back to the house. Y'all, it's eating me up to even hold on to this. So I mentioned it to him, and I was like, so Kelly said she pregnant by you. And he was like, what the fuck? I'm not pregnant by Kelly. What the fuck she even talking about? That bitch is dumb. She probably must be trying to like say a joke or something. Like, what is she talking about? So I was like, why is she saying that? I'm like, call her. Call her. So he's like, man, I ain't talked to Kelly. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to talk about this, all this other stuff. So I'm like, call her right now. Call Kelly right now. So he like, nah, I ain't finna call her. So I snatched his phone. I said, we finna call Kelly. So he like, man, Symone, give me my phone, give me my phone. So I'm going through the phone, I'm seeing the messages. Kelly is literally sending him messages talking about, I love you, Da 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 da. Why every time I deal with a nigga, he gotta just sit there on her side and just let me date him until she don't want to be with him no more? Why the fuck do this, bro? I'm like, what the fuck? He telling her he love her, it's gonna be okay, and she a real one, because y'all, he telling her all this shit. So I'm like, enemy, get your fucking crackhead ass out my motherfucking grandma house now. I'm like, you gotta go, get your shit and go. Like, at this point, because I'm already was mentally checked out of that relationship anyway. I don't know why I got back in it to begin with, but still. So I'm like, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. So he like, man, I'm just trying to comfort her, I know I'm not that. I said, why the fuck would you say you understand, you love, everything gonna be okay if you not the daddy of this baby? He like, I ain't never fucked Kelly wrong. One time back when I was back in lying, just lying. So I'm like, this is weird. So I'm texting Kelly and I'm like, bro, enemy finna come to you, cause yeah, you could have whatever y'all got going on, y'all got it. Y'all got it, you good. So he like, I don't want her. So he ended up calling Kelly. He like, man, you stupid bitch. Da, 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 da. He cussing her out like, why would you do all of this? Bro, it's in the pudding. Cause when I was going through his phone, this thing trying to go through mine. Ain't shit up in there, but just fucking quotes, prayer hands people sending me. But yeah, so yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, you gotta go, you gotta go. So we arguing and stuff like that. So he like, nah, mind you, this whole day, even before we went to the courthouse or whatever, even though we went early, he was acting weird throughout the day. Before Kelly told me, like, he was still kind of being weird or whatever. So y'all, anyway, so I'm like, yeah, you gotta go. So he like, oh, I'm gonna go. All right, then I'm gonna leave, but that's messed up. Like, you gonna put me out when all this stuff is going on? I said, I don't give a fuck what's going on. I really don't give a fuck about you no more. Like, I don't care. Like, you're weird. Like, this is weird. Like, all of this is weird. Now it makes sense to why Kelly stopped doing what she was doing and going to nursing school. But at that point, I guess she wasn't pregnant. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm just like, nah, I'm cool. Like, you gotta go. So he like, all right, I'm about to call me a ride. I'm like, yeah, call you one now. Like, you gotta get out of here. It's just already just weird. But I'm like so checked out to where it's like, I want you to go, but I'm not like crying. Like, I'm not in that part of it because I just wasn't. So anyway, so he asked my sister, I don't know why he asked to use her phone. What the fuck is wrong with his phone? Was his phone off or something? I have no idea. Did it die? I think he was using my charger and I didn't let him use my charger or something. I don't know, but he asked my sister to use her phone again, right? So he signed in on Instagram. He like, yeah, I'm about to have my ride come right now. All this other stuff like that. We ain't talking. It's just whatever. I'm just like, yeah, this is weird. This is weird. Mind you, at the same time, because he cussing Kelly out and all this other stuff, whatever he said to her, talking about some he don't want to do with her or whatever they got going on, the baby, all this other shit. So Kelly hitting me up talking about she want to fight me. Aren't you pregnant? She like, oh, I can still fight you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just mad. I'm like, man, Kelly, it is what it is. When I see you, it's up. Like, you know, it's up. So she telling me like 1 minute she's saying she is, the next she not. I don't know, but either way it goes, she wants to fight me. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I telling her, I said, well, y'all come get him right now. You and whoever else, you the cousin, I don't give a fuck. You, however, you the man that you had bring me home the other day, whoever the else, y'all come get him and we could fight when you pull up. I'm like, you know where I live at. You been here plenty of times. Pull up. So she like, okay, I'm gonna pull up. Y'all, she telling me she gonna pull up, all this other shit. So I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, Kelly gonna pull up. I'm sitting on the bed like the fucking New York meme when she sit on the bed like this with the shades on. I'm sitting on the bed like that. Shoes already laced up. I'm ready to go. Come on, Kelly. You gonna pull up? Because I'm just so mad because I'm just like, this is weird. Like, what the fuck is the reason? I already got a lot of shit going on and this is some weird shit that y'all doing. So I was already irritated. So anyway, finally his ride come. He signed out on my sister's phone. And I'm going outside too. Because I'm like, is it Kelly? Is it Kelly? So he like, don't come outside. It's not Kelly. It's not Kelly. Kelly, I'm not dealing with her. Kelly don't even got no damn car. Fuck her, you, fuck everybody. You gonna just throw me out in the streets like this, okay? And when something happened to me and when I then it's on you. And I'm like, whatever. And he just leaving. But he like, don't come outside. It's not Kelly. Don't come outside. So next thing you know, he go outside. And he ain't got much of nothing anyway there. So he go outside. I'm going to the front. I'm looking. I don't see nobody. Why this boy run down to the corner? He had whoever pick him up go to the corner. So I'm like, oh, he got a girl picking him up clearly. Y'all, tell me why it was still notifications popping out. Because you know how you could add another account on Instagram? He didn't sign out completely. No, did he sign out? Or I think, no, he did sign out. But for some reason, I don't know if it was like glitching or something. But his notifications from his DMs kept popping up on my sister's phone. Y'all, tell me why. Guess who he had pick him up? So remember back when I mentioned the story time about how we had broke up, and then I tell y'all about on New Year's and he had ended up getting with some other girl, and I was like, oh, your boyfriend said you're gonna catch the fade. Remember that situation? Literally, that just happened that same year, that New Year's. The girl had told me like, oh, I see your boyfriend on Instagram with a girl. That's who he had pick him up. Mind you, he ain't talked to this girl months. But you want to know what happened? Kelly and his baby mama linked up. They linked up. And they messaged this girl and they told her about how much he missed her and how much this and how much they were so happy and she was the best girlfriend he had. Mind you, both of these girls wanted to be with Enemy. Y'all linked up and y'all linked up because neither one of them could get him to stop dealing with me. Which, if y'all would have just revealed that y'all was still dealing with this dude, I would have been told him to go. That's how easy it would have been. That's all y'all had to do. But instead, because he kept selling them soft ass fake dreams, and clearly he was only staying there because they didn't have nowhere else for him to live. So I already know that. Duh, I'm not dumb. But, well, of course now. But like, y'all couldn't get him to leave. So y'all was like, we gonna get her. If we can't do it, she could do it. Because she got somewhere he could lay his head at. Y'all. And how I find this out is later in life when they told me. Kelly and them told me. Y'all. And then when it come down to the taxes, I know y'all probably thinking. The whole time I'm thinking Enemy didn't know where I had the money stored. Y'all, it took me some days because I was just like in the house. I wasn't doing nothing. Until finally I was like, oh, I had found a car. Like, that nigga took, he took like $1,200. It was like, that's a lot. I was so irritated. And how Kelly took some of the money is because whole time when he needed the $300 more for the bill, he didn't. He didn't need anything more for the bill. He told Kelly that was their plan. Him and Kelly planned. They planned it. They planned it. They played me, y'all. They planned it. He told Kelly that that's what they was gonna do. He was like, we're gonna get $300 out of her. Y'all. It's funny to me because at that time I was like, ooh, and one thing I don't play about is God is gonna get his karma for you. Don't even be stressing yourself out when people do fuck shit to you, because God, he don't play. Karma comes around. Y'all know what happened? It was funny because like I said, when I said Kelly told me, because later in life, like I said, we cordial, we not enemies or whatever like that, or the baby mama or whatever. So it's just funny to me because you thought you came up, you got the $300, all right, whatever, y'all came up with that plan, stupid shit anyway, and she pocketed the money. Okay, and he took the $1,200. Y'all always ask me what happened to Enemy. I'm not gonna give too much information about that, but it's not good. And not saying that was his karma, I'm not saying that at all, but Kelly karma, Enemy didn't pay that motherfucking bill, and Kelly had issues. And I remember she was telling me, she was like, girl, that shit was karma because he never paid that bill and her name was on it. Yeah, I remember, you know how on Facebook when they post like wanted and they had posted his picture on there, all that. Yeah, and it's crazy because I have more stories about Kelly because after that situation, I was done with Enemy. Yeah, Enemy kept trying to call. He would try to pull up, try to come. And I'd be like, nah, you can't never come around here. I don't give a fuck what I'm going through, bitch. You can't come around here. But yeah, but me and Kelly had issues because Kelly wanted to fight. And it's just so crazy because it was issues. But I'm going to let y'all know more because it's, yeah. But I just wanted to I'm like, let me put all that in one. But yeah, that's it for this story time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys so much. And I'll see you on my next video.